Get your copy of 5 Steps to Solo Travel at Amazon on May 8th, Mother's Day. If everyone buys it that day, the book will be at number 1.
Welcome to Dr. Mary Travel Best's Travel Guide. This is an episode for women like you who need a little extra support, traveling the world one woman at a time. This is a special episode describing Step 5, the final step toward your travel solo. And this podcast is sponsored by Sun Marketing, advertising and marketing in San Diego since 1993. I'm Dr. Travel Best, and I've been traveling independently for decades. And soon you'll see a new guidebook, 5 Steps to Solo Travel. Please share this one with your parents, your loved ones, and future travelers. Here's the steps in order. First, step 1, your first solo trip, nearby and overnight. Step 2, state to state travel. Step 3, a faraway state or a nearby country. Step 4 is a faraway country where you pretty much speak the language. And this episode, Step 5, is a country where you don't speak the language. What is Step 5? Well, we're going to be talking about places similar to Kenya, China, Spain, and Chile. And this is for you if you've been to many different countries where they speak local languages like yours, and you're facing challenges like new cultures, largely unfamiliar to you. You're going to navigate travel in a place where transportation is limited, and these places may be harder to reach, though not unwelcoming. So here's to your next step. In this step, you are a full travel champion. You're adopting unique experiences with geography and nature firsthand, even with countries you may not read about in the news or on social media. You will meet people who are different from you. Certain challenges will occur when you visit some countries like China, where you can't read the street signs as different letters are used for language, or when you try to bargain at the market for fruits in Kenya. I've traveled solo to 6 continents, and some of these have opened up my mind to new freedoms. For example, in Asia or Africa, I was free to use sign language to communicate basic needs. When I was in my postgraduate studies at what's now Alliant International University, every student in the class had to get up and introduce themselves and the country they were from. And I was one of the few students from the USA. I didn't know about many of the countries named, so I went home and looked them up on the globe at night and dreamed of traveling. If you're headed on a journey, which is a Step 5 journey, be prepared for freedom surprises, including losing your health, passport, luggage, and or cash. You want to have copies of everything important in a safe place and a backup ready for when you might need it. If you're not yet a Step 5 traveler, you could combine Step 5 with another trip. This way, one part of your trip would include relatively more variety and freedom, while another part of the journey would be more relaxing and restful for you. This chapter involves the uncharted or unknown and foreign languages you don't yet speak. Places like Asia, South America, Africa. These are good places to start. I've mentioned a few countries, and we're going to be talking about them in this section of the book. So some of these regions will require you to have a visa or travel permit to visit. This is peak Step 5, most difficult and freedom-loving travel. Many readers will not make this kind of trip, but it's always a challenge to learn what's available and to dream about it. Step 5 can be impossible to visit in some countries unless you have really good permits and all kinds of documentation. It also could be just for one day. And we could even dream about going to different planets. So, are you ready? Step 5 is freedom travel, getting unique experiences and going on a journey. I want you to be prepared for anything. However, you do need to have experience. So, for example, in Tibet, only tour groups are allowed, and all tourism is currently closed during the pandemic. For places like Mongolia, You will need a visa and a passport with more than 6 months until it expires. So that concludes the 5 steps of solo travel in a short form. Please do send me your travel tip. You can send it to my website, Facebook, or Instagram. You can send it to Twitter, my blog, or maybe you'll see your tips in the next edition. Dr. Travel Best, it's 5 steps to solo travel.
What's on your travel bucket list? Tell the doctor and her team of women who travel the world seeking the very best. Dr. Travel Best, that is.